They chuckled when she raised her glass. Everyone assumed it was just another one of her witty remarks, her usual dry humor. But I noticed something different, the way her gaze softened when it settled on him. "This man," she said, lifting her glass toward Michael, "is who I should have married. He's the only man who will ever truly be a father to my son." Nobody turned to look at me. Not one head moved in my direction. It was as if I didn't even exist. I stood still at the back of the room, partially hidden behind a haze of pastel balloons and paper streamers, decorations she'd insisted on. My fists were clenched so tightly, the veins in my hands looked like cables beneath my skin. Then I turned and walked out, silent, unnoticed. Even she didn't see me go. That was the last time I allowed myself to disappear. We met when we were 22, college sweethearts. She was bold, full of energy, the kind of woman who brought noise and light with her wherever she went. I was reserved, more measured in my actions. She called me her grounding force, her anchor. We used to dream aloud, building imaginary lives together. She wanted a house by the sea. I wanted a family. Funny how things worked out in the end. She got her waves and shoreline. I kept the bricks and roof. But I'll come back to that. In the beginning, Michael was just a name, someone from her past. A close friend from high school, she said. He always seemed to be around, smiling too much, overstaying his welcome. She swore it was innocent. I trusted her. Isn't that what love demands? Trust, even when there's no evidence, until that same trust starts to tighten around your throat. The shift was subtle. It began with her phone, not because I was snooping, but because something fell off. She laughed too hard at his messages, left the room when he called. Then came the night I reached for her phone just to check the time. She hadn't bothered to close her messages. "He doesn't understand me like you do. You'll always be the one. I wish this baby was yours." My ears buzzed. The world didn't fall apart all at once. It tilted, slowly, painfully, like a blade turning inside my chest. I didn't say anything. Not yet, because pain is loud. But revenge? Revenge whispers. So I began to collect. Every call, every message, I archived it all. I hid a prepaid phone in my sock drawer and backed up her cloud silently. I hired a private investigator, an ex-cop with a reputation for being both effective and invisible. A GPS tracker slid quietly beneath Michael's car. I tapped phone lines. Within a week, I had photographs of them entering a hotel together. Within 2 weeks, I had receipts. She thought I was clueless. I let her think that. That was my advantage. While she was picking out cribs and paint swatches, I was laying the foundation of her downfall. I quietly moved our savings into a separate account, one she had no access to. I rewrote my will, redirected the mortgage into a protected trust. She signed the paperwork, thinking it was just part of a refinancing deal. She never read the fine print. She never did. The child wasn't mine. I verified that through a DNA test at a clinic she didn't even know existed. Not that it mattered to her. She thought she had Michael now, or so she believed. At the baby shower, she gave her little speech, tipsy on dollar store champagne, and a fantasy she mistook for love. Michael beamed like a fool beside her, unaware he was standing inside a carefully constructed snare. I walked out that day, but I didn't vanish. While they toasted their secret affair that night, I was laying the final piece of my plan in silence. 2 days later, the truth detonated. It began with Michael. An anonymous envelope landed on the boardroom table. Pictures from the hotel, undeniable proof he had been sleeping with the wife of a married client. I knew his company well. Strict policies. No room for scandal. By midday, he was being walked out by security. Then it was her turn. I waited for the perfect moment. The house was quiet. She sat cross-legged on the nursery floor, gently folding tiny onesies. I dropped the file in front of her, without a word. Inside, printed text messages, hotel photos, DNA confirmation. She looked up at me, wide-eyed, like I was someone she didn't recognize. "No," she breathed. "You can't do this." "I already have," I replied. I explained everything. The frozen accounts, the trust fund, the revised will, and the house title now in my name. You walk away with nothing, I told her, except your son. That shattered her. She sobbed, pleaded, insisted it was a mistake, that Michael meant nothing, that I was blowing things out of proportion. I didn't blink. She tried to lawyer up, only to discover I'd already filed with a complete case. Every bit of evidence meticulously recorded. In our state, adultery nullifies any claim to spousal support. She had no leg to stand on. The paperwork was airtight, and then came the final strike. I sent a package to her parents. Traditional, strict, proud people who once saw me as a son. Her mother broke down in tears. Her father told her never to step foot in their home again, said she no longer existed in his eyes. As for Michael, after getting fired, he tried suing me for character damage. I welcomed the legal battle. Court proceedings pulled back the curtain on his finances. That's when it came out. He was already married, with a pregnant wife living on the other side of town. She left him the second she saw the truth laid bare in court. Now he's out of work, out of a home, and utterly alone. And the child? Not mine. Not my responsibility. I walked away without paying a cent. No alimony, no child support. Just freedom. Today, I live by the sea. The same coastal home she once dreamed of. I kept it, renovated it, erased every trace of her from its walls. She showed up once, not long after everything fell apart. Desperate, hollow, her shame heavy as luggage. I didn't answer the door. I watched her from upstairs, behind the curtain. She stood motionless for a while, then turned and disappeared down the driveway. They say revenge tastes best when it's cold. They're wrong. It's better delivered in silence, with precision, patience, and no one watching.